For more on the AU Summit, let's go ahead and bring in Hamoud Salhi in Los Angeles. He's Professor of Political Science and Associate Dean of International Education at California State University, Dominguez Hills. Hamoud, thanks so much for joining us. One of the criticisms of these AU summits has been their sort of rather unambitious goals. 2020 was silencing the guns, and then fighting broke out in Ethiopia. This year's goal is to celebrate African art and culture at a really critical time for Africa. Do you think the AU leadership is missing a major opportunity here to set the tone and to follow through?
If we are to focus on the theme, one could make that argument that it is not timely. That kind of theme could be used at any other time, and specifically it comes after the theme that was launched a year ago, reconciling, or what is it, silencing the gun. But I think in terms of the agenda, what this summit is set to achieve and wants to do, there is a great potential for that. And I think there is also some kind of success, particularly when we look at the global pandemic. The work that Africa CDC has done in coordination with member states, other regional organizations, seems to be on the right path. And so from that perspective, one could say that there is some hopeful sign, but the problem is bigger. I mean, it's challenging, and Africa has always been sort of its root problems extends beyond smaller or symbolic changes, and require the EU to make decisions and follow with them. So from that perspective, the theme may not be, if we take it from the time and the juncture at this point, may not be that important. The most important is the agenda that they have to do. And in addition to the global pandemic, you have the conflicts in Africa, the trade, the economic help that the states need. So it's a tall order whether or not EU will, live up to this expectation. Rest to be seen. But I think because of the timing and because of the need to move this forward, there will be some kind of progress on finding some kind of assistance to Africa, particularly from some regional organizations or other part of the globe.
U.S. President Joe Biden sent a video message to the AU summit, his first one to an international forum, and he suggested a reset to AU-American relations. Well, what happened under President Trump, and what can Biden do to change that now?
I think President Biden has some staff or his cabinet know Africa very well. The United Nations ambassador, or the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, has extensive work on Africa, and she is known to be working with other parties, in particular China, to achieve a constructive solution. Again, the idea that getting Africa engaged in its own, in some kind of mutual understanding or mutual approach to solve the regional conflict is important. I think it's a shift away from what President Donald Trump did. Trump focused more on the American sort of security area. So we've seen a lot of military buildup in the Sahel and Northern Africa. For example, in the whole Africa, there were about 32 military sort of locations. These are some kind of the approach like military bases. And there was so much focus on conflict rather than diplomacy. The focus that Joe Biden is trying to achieve is give some kind of chance to diplomatic solutions. But again, the tall order, this is a tall order, and one hope that the United States doesn't look at the region from a competitive perspective, that it is an area where it should be first and it should benefit from the resources of Africa at the expense of other countries. In other words, it doesn't bring or highlight its approach to the region based on how to view the role of China in Africa or Russia for that matter. If Joe Biden wants to reset, and he's sort of clear in this, there is potential for Africa to sort of get some help, and particularly in the idea of economics and some kind of resolution to the conflicts that Africa continues to suffer from.